Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to what is going to be my first actual YouTube episode. It's taken me a little while to get this out, but I'm hoping that I'm going to kick things off the right way and we're going to start getting some more of these videos out. So, what are we talking about? I've put together a 5-step process of what I think is important when it comes to tracking weight. It's pretty much a basic guide to tracking weight. So, given the 5 steps, I'm going to go ahead and give you number 1. So what you'll need, pretty much you're going to need a couple of things in order to be able to assess your weight, track it. Pretty much the first thing you're going to need is a set of scales. So I got myself a set of digital scales, got them from Kmart, they're like 20 odd bucks. It's important to have this other than just kind of relying off your gym scales or whatever else, because the timing of when you're going to be doing them and how regularly you're going to need access to it yourself. So there's obviously other factors that come into when you're using the gym, you're fully clothed, you know, times of day that you're actually having the measurement taken. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but get yourself a set of scales. They're only like 20 odd bucks. They're pretty cheap. And then the other thing you're going to need is a diary. So I like to track my progress in a diary. I have a lot of things that I use diaries for, whether it's, you know, my training plans at the moment, or might even be just general ideas I like to jot in my book. Might have some for my business, for my Instagram, whatever else. So given that these are so cheap, they're like $2, $2-3, they're so cheap. I've got multiple diaries hanging around for multiple purposes. So get one like this to track your weight, and that's its sole purpose. It makes things really easy. You know, if you're someone that likes to archive things and put them in digital form, there's no reason why you can't, you know, put it on your laptop or whatever else. But given the time of day that we're going to be taking the measurements and making things as easy as possible, it's good just to have this diary. I stick it next to my basin in my bathroom, and it just makes things super easy. You know, just a matter of quickly writing down with my pen, and then that's it done. So diary is another thing you're going to need. And the other thing you'll need is, you know, I use MyFitnessPal to track my calories and stuff like that. I'm assuming that everyone's going to be doing a similar thing, so it's not really a vital thing to have, but I do use MyFitnessPal as one way of tracking, but it's mainly just for my food. So that brings me to number 2. The second point, or the second step, is when to measure. Obviously there's a lot of variables that come into play when we're talking about body weight, the fluctuations that happen naturally depending on, you know, what kind of stress you're going through, what time of the day, how much food you've eaten. So in order to be accurate with our measurements, they have to be done at a time when it's going to be the least affected by multiple variables. So that would be a dry weight when you're fasted and you've also passed urine. So that's going to be in the morning. Everyone has to sleep, obviously. So you fast while you sleep. You get up in the morning, you go and urinate straight away in the bathroom, hopefully in the bathroom. And once you've done that, you want to make sure that you don't have any jewelry on, you just be in your undies and jump on the scales, and that's your dry weight. So that brings me to number 3, how to track. So 2 types of tracking, written and visual. The main one here is going to be written. So obviously you've jumped on the scales, you've got your weight. You want to write that down in your diary. My diary here, I usually like to condense all my measurements. I usually break them up into weeks and days, and I like to have everything visual in the one go, so I can actually see the progress instead of it being, you know, one day, one page, you know, measurement. Or if you do that, at least just condense it at the end of the week. I'm someone that likes to monitor my stuff daily as my weight's being taken. So given that it's all condensed like this, it makes it a lot easier. And then the visual side is also taking photos. So I think it's an important part to take photos. It doesn't have to be daily. If you're the kind of person that's maybe prepping or whatever else, that's going to be important. Maybe you want to see your daily fluctuations, but the visual side of things brings in the actual body composition side of things that you might not see and notice and register daily, but over time you'll be able to see your progress. So even if it's once a week, for the ones that are taking it daily, you know, I've taken ones myself where it's been front, back, side daily, and as long as it's in the same light and it's consistent, you're going to see that consistent change. It's good also to have start to finish, so you know, at least you know where you started and where you're finishing. The 4th part is review your progress. So at this point you've got your measurements, you've got your visual side of things, and you're getting to a point where you need to assess what's going on, because that's how you're going to determine whether you're being successful in your plan, if you're getting to where you want to go the right way, or maybe things aren't working out. Maybe the scales aren't going down, maybe the scales are going down too quick. And this all comes into play with your diet, and it's going to give you an accurate response on, it's going to give you an accurate determination of what your response has been to the diet that you've made for yourself. So that brings me to number 5. Final bit is make adjustments. Obviously, with everything else taken into consideration, you've got all the information in front of you. You're going to be able to see whether you're on track. So most tracking with diet weight loss is going to be like a zigzag. You're going to slow down, you're going to be going down, but it's going to like fluctuate up and down, up and down, up and down. But nonetheless, you're still going to be going down. You might find that that's working fine, sweet, but you're going to get to a point where it might flatten out and it's not working anymore. Or you might not even get to that point. You might be dipping way too quick, and that's a sign that you've undershot your calories by a lot. Or you might be at the point where you're not even moving much, and that means that you haven't taken enough calories off your diet. So for me, for this point, I've been really happy with my progress up until the last few days, and that's indicated to me that with the flat line that I'm going to implement a refeed. So that's going to be maintenance calories for me for 1 to 2 days. We'll see how we go, and that'll get the needle moving again. But depending on where you're at, if things are working great, sweet, you don't have to change, but it's the only way that you can actually see what's going on with your body, and it's going to give you best indication of whether you're on the right track with what you're doing or you're not. So yeah, key part of getting progress. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're not just spinning your wheels. You do have a goal in mind of where you want to go with your training. So that's basically my quick 5 steps to tracking your weight. I hope this was something that you guys found valuable. I'm looking to do little videos like this, would take any more suggestions. And if you could, click subscribe, let me know what you thought of the video. And as I said, give me some more suggestions of what you guys want. But nonetheless, thanks for stopping by, and I will have a video again for you guys shortly.